Yeah, Dhaval, Santosh, would you like to sort of introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, so I'll go first. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the background noise on my side. I'm just at an external place, but pleasure to be talking to everyone today. I understand that we are just sort of between one paper and the life beyond that. So we'll try to keep it informative and also hopefully people walk away with something that they can sort of understand of the sector. Debashi and Santosh?
Santosh, are you going for it? Or do you want me to go?
Okay, I can go. Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Santosh Kumar, and I head up financial services for HCL Technologies based out of London. And my son, as I don't know whether Subhash told you or not, my son is an athlete, and also he is a student of television production right now in second year, studying at the College of Westminster, University of Westminster at Harrow. So I will try and share as my experiences of what I have seen through his eyes, as well as also whatever we do in our industry. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Debarshi Pandit. I'm the SVP of International Business at Sky, and I'm also the head of multicultural business in the UK, where my job is to make sure that as Sky, as Europe's biggest broadcaster, we are also being culturally relevant, and we are also monetizing our international advertising, both through Sky News international feed, as well as making brands that are outside of the UK famous in the UK. So I use the advertising platform that we have within Sky to help them do that. That's me in a nutshell. And yeah, thank you, Subhash, and my guests over here for this opportunity. And look forward to answering any questions that you may have. Thanks.
Sure.
So I think I'm just going to say a few things for the kids, because I may or may not sort of be connected in some time. Just on three things. One is there is a career to be had in the world of sport. But I think it's not really apparent. The paths are not really clear. Usually people talk a lot about financial services, they talk about medicine, engineering. Nowadays we talk about technology a lot. But there is sort of a career to be had in the world of sport. So those who are inclined in the sport itself, the viewing of sports, or the technology of sport, or even there are so many other fields which could be under physiotherapy, the business planning side of things, or brand side of things, which people like Sky are exceptionally good at. I think there is one question that you should be asking people that you know. You should be asking your, let's say, the academic staff as well about as well. So that's one. Second is that when you look at the sort of the world of sport, how do you sort of sort of get a feel of what would an entry into a world of sport look like? And I think for that, one route which opens up to a lot of students quite early on is to join, let's say, the football clubs or the sports clubs who have got training programs. And that is clearly one, either as a sporting athlete, or second, as part of their training and coaching staff. What I would also recommend that a lot of you should look at is generally to look at internship or even short-term work or professional experience programs that you can have in a lot of these organizations. Tata's, we have a media business. We do a lot of streaming virtually, a lot of global sports that people watch across the world. Is something that we are involved with. And we have a lot of students who join us. They stumble upon it through their friends, relatives, and we sort of give them an experience. For example, this weekend we have a few young engineers going to Formula One and being a part of the team that delivers Formula One to sort of audiences globally. So I would sort of encourage sort of people to look at internship or short-term professional experience programs in the world of sport to see what that means. Third is how to look at a career in sort of the world of sport. So there will be a lot of conversations about what to do and why. And I'm sure people will get some very useful feedback. What I would say is that the world of sport has sort of roles for a lot of the traditional careers as well. So I personally did investment banking, and then I got into technology sort of on the commercial side, and then got into sport. But I would never ever sort of look back and sort of consider anything else, just because being in the world of sport gives you so much in terms of activity, in terms of growth. And quite frankly, if you look at across the world, people sort of consume a lot of content globally. So whether you're looking at a career that is on the finance side or marketing side, or even on the artistic side, there is a very strong segue and a sort of a path into the world of sport and the business of sport as well, that can potentially be explored. And over to you, Shubh, and the team over there.
Thank you. Thanks, Dhaval. Shubh.
Yeah, so we will open the floor to questions now. So, yeah, you want to say your question? Or do you want to come up here and say it? The stage is yours.
Hello, my name's Avi, and my question is, where do you see the sports industry move in the future in terms of stewardship? Because we've already seen the things like VAR and digital umpires in cricket and football, but will that replace the job of a physical umpire altogether?
Thanks, Avi. Santosh,
Yes, so just about stewardship and umpires.
Okay, now I'll take that. I think that's a very important question, and also the right one. I think generally we see a lot of discussion about AI and technology replacing humans. So I think, look, one is there was a very good clip from BBC in the 1960s, which spoke about kids talking about the computer and saying that how people would sort of become obsolete as more technology comes in. It has not really happened, but the kind of jobs have changed. So people are using more technology in our day-to-day life. So even in the world of sport, you will have technology like VAR. I mean, today we deliver events where there is an event taking place in, let's say, Bermuda of the coast of Australia, and the sort of the stewards and the referees are sort of located in a different continent altogether. So the way to look at it is we will have more technology, so people don't feel if a particular game has been won or lost because of lack of quick reflexes. But the roles of stewards will definitely be there. In fact, the role of steward should be around the upholding let's say, the ethical side of the game, the sort of the sportsman spirit of a particular event as well. So that will always be there. In fact, that will be more important. The technology will be used for making faster and better decisions for sort of sporting events going forward. Sorry, Santosh, you were going to say something.
No, I think no, that's absolutely. I was just about to say that the technology is enabling and making the umpires or referees do well. It's not replacing them. I think it's also important to think from a career perspective that we work with a number of customers like Manchester United or Cricket Australia, building softwares or technology for them, right? That could help them to do better in whatever they are doing. I mean, in cricket, for example, trying to bring the technology to look at the speed, look at the way the bat is hit the ball, and where the ball is pitching and how much it's turning, and all that sort of technology that today that you see on the screen. And these are all making it better. It's not eliminating the need, it's also creating a lot of jobs, right? So there's a lot of technology jobs that is being created. A lot of with that advancement, you also need to change in the media side as well. It was not just about showing the umpire signaling. It is now about this third umpire, which brings a new angle to it, or a VAR to that extent, right? So it's also, the media is also changing as you see the technology is being coming into the sport. So I would say from a job perspective, it is quite good. It's creating more check jobs, more media related kind of creative jobs as well. So I think it's from that way it is in going in the right direction, and it's not replacing anybody in the process.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, which is sports has totally been redefined over the past couple of decades, right? So yes, before it was sports was nothing but people who were passionate about sports were indulging in it. But over the past couple of decades, sports has actually become a business and an investment opportunity. And whenever you will find money getting into a system, you will also find that the margins of error need to get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer, because there is a huge impact of, say, a wrong decision, or a decision that was not in favor of one team versus the other, because it impacts the financial investment that has been brought about by a certain business house or whatever. So I think that it all boils down to the investment that has come in. And because these margins of error are coming down and down, you obviously need to have something like, say, a VAR or a Hawkeye or something on those lines, which makes sure that it's not just human error and judgment that is defining a particular decision that can be make or break, but it adds to it and it aids to it, right? So, and through that, you can have opportunities of more jobs, greater technology advancement, and so on and so forth. So that's my bit that I wanted to add, because there's a reason why these things are happening in the sporting arena and the sporting field. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Those are some really insightful answers. So do we have another question then? Yeah? Okay, come on.
So hi, my name is Yash. I had a question about in terms of VAR. I know you mentioned VAR, especially with the recent controversy we're having. Do you think there is a need for greater transparency, and how will that come about? Especially in terms of like broadcasters like Sky.
See, I mean, VAR is pretty much transparent on its own. So you see everybody being there with regards to the stuff that they're doing and the works. But I mean, I don't know. If you're referring to the Tottenham Liverpool game, yes, there have been certain issues surrounding that. But the fact is, VAR is meant to be making things transparent, and we as broadcasters are obviously adhering to certain things. Our job is to just broadcast the stuff that is going on in the field, right? We are not part of VAR. We are not part of anything. But that is something that the tournament organizers, in this particular case, the Premier League, will be looking into it. So I don't know. Sky doesn't have a role to play in how transparent can you be. Our job is to make sure that the technology that is being used, we are able to bring it to the end consumer in a friendly format that they are able to understand what exactly is going on. And our commentators on the channel, their job is also to explain that to a particular layman as to what exactly has been going on, or any controversy or whatever. So that's where I would rest my case on this particular question.
Santosh, Dhaval, you want to add something?
Yeah, no, I think Debashi said, I mean, the job of Sky is to show all action, right? So, and I think they do a brilliant job of it. And in a lot of these controversies, I mean, lately we've had a number of these emotional conversations in football. We also had the Hamilton versus Max issue at Abu Dhabi last year, which caused a lot of emotional discussion. So it's a right question, and the way to look at it is, see, broadcaster is going to show all activity. In fact, a more emotional, let's say, conversation is gold dust from a broadcaster standpoint, because people are going to watch it, and people are going to watch it again. The federations, as Debashi pointed out, they have to ensure that technology is not abused. Technology is used to simplify the game, and also show the game in the right light to the audience.
Your thought, Santosh?
No, I think pretty much covered, Swash. I think Yeah, nothing to add on what Dhaval said.
Wonderful. Good. Can you go to the next question, please?
All right. So, any more questions? Yeah.
So my name is Precious, and I wanted to ask, how can we increase fan experience by allowing them to connect with players without losing naturality of like a player character?
Okay, probably I can take that, but that's okay. Yeah. So see what we have done. Like, I mean, I'll give you one example of something that we have done for Manchester United. So we built the Manchester United fan experience as part of our work to ensure that Man U stay connected with more than 600 million or maybe a billion fans around the globe. And how do you bring the best experience to the fan, right? I mean, it needs to be engaging. It needs to kind of when the match is going on, you need to bring the data in, content in. So if you look at the platform itself, so that it says the user, the fan, need not have always this 4G or a 5G technology available in various parts of the world, but you still want to give them that experience of interacting with the data, and you make use of the power of data to give them a live match experience. So in addition to what we see, the live data or live content that comes through the television, I mean, we have also looked at, that there's a lot of data that is available publicly also as the match is played, that what a player, how much of distance he has covered, what is the accuracy of his passes and so on and so forth. And what we have done is, in cases where we have to, given the fans to bring player against a player. So let's say Tottenham, Liverpool, you pull a Tottenham player against a Liverpool player and try to compare. And you can see who is playing better. You look at the number of passes, you look at how, the interactions between the team, goalkeepers and all that kind of stuff. So how do you use the data to drive a lot of interaction is what we have done to kind of, to your point of how do you make more the fan experience better, right? In not necessarily everywhere you have the sort of right, the bandwidth available. So how do you still do that? So that's one. The second is obviously when you look at from the people who are actually publishing the content, right? So at the home game, obviously Manchester United has a lot of people who are publishing content. So you have, the more photos and more things will come in, and because it's a home game, right? But on an away game, you typically get only two people, I believe, who are getting the place in the stands, and they have to take pictures. They have to kind of write this quick messages, post it on, on the app, and so on and so forth. So the content that needs to be pushed so much that you need to create for content publisher as well. How do you make it easy for them? So a lot of the icons or a lot of messages that you kind of have the pre-built, so that instead of writing it or doing anything, they just want to drag and drop or just click a button and it kind of gets the whole sentence done, and so on and so forth, right? This is obviously based on the experience. When your data is collected, that what has happened, a goal or or a penalty missed or penalty scored or whatever. And that's another thing that obviously, to ensure from a content publishing perspective, you still need to do that. And from a fan experience point of view, it needs to work. I mean, basic thing is, I mean, it needs to have the right bandwidth, right availability. So we hit the peak once. So, no surprises, I guess, when the Ronaldo rehiring or rejoined Manchester United, that's the day when kind of we hit the peak. Everybody, most of our Man U fans were there on the app, and we had to ensure that, it still works, and it worked beautifully with no failure. So that sort of, tests us as well. I mean, in some big games, you will see the peak, but once the match is over, the load is not that much. The interactions are little, but you still need people come for merchandise and so on and so forth. So you need to ensure you have enough content for them to interact. Personalization is important. So, as you go in, you have your own name written. You can customize and get your shirt printed and all that kind of facilities. So that's how we have done. I mean, just one example, and, maybe I'll pass on to Dave and Dave to kind of add more.
No, I mean, I think you've covered it succinctly and beautifully. I mean, there is not much to add other than the fact that all broadcasters, we are trying to get better engagement with our core audience base. And but we are also at a challenging, we've also got a challenge, given the fact that we are at the mercy of the federations or the sporting bodies. So for example, Formula One has got its own digital feed where they're trying to do stuff and so on and so forth. So the role of us at broadcasters, we've got to cater to all and sundry, but at the end of the day, we've also got very serious hard lines that we are not able to cross because of rights issues and so on and so forth. So it's obviously navigating a lot of those challenges at our end, but making sure that we are able to do justice to our end consumer who's consuming that content, who may or may not have a direct relationship with the sporting federation or the tournament organizer. So I think that's where we are currently. But then again, things are probably going to change with the advent of the whole meta world, where it might be another, step ahead with regards to you wearing some fancy goggles and feeling that you're in the middle of center court or whatever. So things keep changing all the time. I mean, we've had technology that got evolved, and for us at Sky, I mean, I can tell you both as a consumer, and because I joined Sky 7 years back, but prior to that, I still remember 3D was a big thing. Most of our content was also being done in 3D, but then you had to wear glasses and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of got fizzled out because it was too inconvenient for some people. A lot of people were complaining about headaches. It wasn't as great a viewer experience as people thought it to be. And then it eventually zeroed into what you define now as 4K and ultra high definition, where you can actually feel and see the, even the tiniest of hair on a human body coming out, and in the sporting arena. So that's how things are, and things are evolving and changing on a daily basis. And by the time probably you guys graduate, it will be a totally different world out there. But for the moment, this is it. Thanks.
Thanks, Devarshi. Thanks, Santosh. What's the next question?
Thanks for those really insightful answers. Do we have another question then? Yes, come.
Hi, my name is Adi, and my question was, there's been a surge in the use of pirated sites when streaming sports, and yeah, I just wanted to ask, how do you look to deal with this issue?
Thank you.
That's a massive issue for us, and we are taking all steps wherever possible to mitigate that. And fortunately, we've also got the law enforcement agencies involved in it. So it's very easy for anyone to find out. And I don't know if you've been reading the news reports, but there's been a huge clampdown, especially even coming down to the Premier League rights renewal that is going to be taking place next month for a series of couple of weeks. It is quite a the whole piracy element plays a key role in the broadcasting rights, because obviously piracy is nothing but somebody indulging in shoplifting, because in shoplifting you're lifting a physical product out of the shop without paying for it, and it's akin to piracy where you're watching something that technically you haven't paid for it in that particular part. And there are a lot of pirate sites, but we are working closely with the internet service providers, ISPs, where we see a certain spike in viewership of certain games, like the 3 p.m. game on a Saturday. When you suddenly find the internet bandwidth usage going up in a particular home for a period of time, 90 minutes on, that there is some illicit activity going on in that particular home, and it's become very easy. So the only thing that we can say from our end is, anybody indulging in piracy, please beware, because the law enforcement is going to be coming down, and it will come down heavily with regards to the stuff. So yeah, that's me, I guess, in terms of answering the question on piracy, unless Santosh, you want to add any more element to it.
I think I think this is a good question, right? I think the piracy thing, as you rightly said, I mean it's a problem not just in any one particular industry. I mean it's there. Anything there are. I mean in financial services at least. I mean I could talk from a perspective that regulations are there to curb certain things and certain activities that is kind of not right, and so those regulations are going to be getting more and more stringent, and I guess in different industries will have to apply those kind of regulations and ensure that their work is proper. So I think I'm not so these kind of things will be addressed through a lot of regulations as well as things move forward.
Sounds good. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Hi, Yash again. I had a follow-up question from the question on piracy. So, as a consumer, right now in the Premier League, for example, you have to buy, I think, Sky Sports, BT, Amazon, and you still can't stream all of them, which is probably one of the biggest reasons for piracy. Do you think that our current system is flawed as opposed to some other countries like America? Or do you think that is just one of the things that we have to accept? Thank you.
I just want to flag it. It's not us, right? So it's the sporting federation. If the sporting federation, if you want your heartthrob football player to get less salary, it's cool with us, man. I mean, everybody's trying to make money and fund the lavish lifestyles of the footballers, right? Who are earning £250,000 every week and providing some form of joy to yourself. So it's everything. There is nothing in this world, and because you guys are at the threshold of getting into university, or some kids might want to join apprenticeship or whatever, the hard rule of life is there's no free lunch. And the other element is that to win some, you've got to lose some, right? So everything, whether it's the price of oil that adds to when that goes up, your food prices also go up. Why? Because the truck that is used to transport the food to the local supermarket has increased its price. So the food chain is going to be increasing its price to reflect that. So this is the same case on the sporting rights. We as Sky were technically the home of sport for a good period of 15, 20 odd years. But then competition is such greed and hunger for increased revenue is such that the sporting bodies decided to, have an auction where instead of, one-stop shop, they want to grow a healthy competition and have another competitor enter BT Sport. So then it was just between us and BT Sport. But then, there is further hunger to increase more revenues. So you've got, another third player coming into the scene, which is Amazon. So like I said, it is not us, it is not anybody, but it's market dynamics, right? And you can't change market dynamics because you want to live in a utopian society. So sometimes you've got to come, straight to the truth. And this is the same case in India, for example, for the IPL rights. As you could see, there was a point of time where Disney, or part of Star, which is part of Disney, had the whole rights, whether that was the digital rights or whether that was the television rights for IPL, and they did well. But now you've got multiple parties holding multiple things. And in fact, the same party had to pay again just to get exclusivity of certain games. So if BCCI can do that and monetize it, where it's all a question of getting additional revenues. So unfortunately, we have got to come to terms with that, and you've got to be very selective about what you want to watch. And which provider gives you the best value for it. So if you want to watch all the games, you can have a monthly rolling contract like we have through our Now TV offering. So we are not holding anybody to an annual contract, unlike if you were to take Sky. But if you want to be, on on a rolling contract, you've got to be what you are. I mean, I don't see anybody complaining about the price of Apple phones going up. I mean, when I started, it was about 20 quid that you could pay per month. But now the same thing has gone up to about 50, 60, 70 pounds. Market dynamics, my friend, is all I can say.
Good.
Thanks.
We've got time for 2 more questions. So whether we take all of them together, then we'll sort of answer one by one. Yeah, sure.
Yep. So if anyone wants to ask a question.
You have 2 questions. Let us first hear the questions, then you can answer in time.
Hello, my name is Anirudh. I wanted to ask right now, what's the best way to get into a career in tech and broadcasting? Is that through a university degree or through an apprenticeship or a degree apprenticeship? Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And what other question we have? The second question?
I think we'll go answer the first question, then move on to the next. Let people think about it.
Yeah, we don't have time, but anyway, okay, we'll go for that. Debashi, you're the best guy to talk about sport broadcast.
No, listen, to get into the world of media, you don't need to be a rocket scientist, or you don't need to have a formal education. I started my career in advertising, and the people who were slightly odd out of this world were the ones who were in advertising, because we were a bit different. We had a different perspective. But then increasingly everything has become lots more commoditized, and the madmen have given way to matsmen. So it's all about revenues and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think you need any formal education to get into an industry that you're really passionate about, because if you're really passionate, it'll be reflective on that. Although, having said that, having a degree helps you in the initial stages when it's a very competitive world out there, and to break through that, you need to be slightly better than an average somebody who also will be there in the same reckoning. And when you have a degree, I think it helps, but it's not the be all and end all of life. So if you're passionate about it, you can obviously look up to various graduate or apprenticeship schemes that are there in the world of to take a look at in the world of media. There are also certain universities that do offer probably media courses that help you get an understanding and a perspective as to what it is, because a lot of people tend to think, oh, media is all glamorous and beautiful life and all that kind of stuff. It is not true. So it is as hard a life and it is as unglamorous as anything else, but it all depends on you and your passion. Because if you really love the work that you do, then probably you will not be working for the rest of your life, because it is something that you're loving to do, and that's all I can say. If somebody wants to pursue a career in media, you really need to have the passion for it. It's not something that an education degree will help, but at the same time you need to have a form of probably degree to get into the initial stages. Santosh, you might want to add some more elements to this, if at all. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it quite well. I guess, as you rightly said, it's about the passion, and it's about, you want to do it. If there's a want, there's a desire, I think you will find a way to ensure that you reach the right goal. And there's no, there are courses, there are the kind of an apprentice program and whatever that you want to do from, university as well. But I guess, only thing I would say is that if you are doing a course or a program, it obviously helps you to at least understand the foundation for elements or fundamentals, or at least give you some basic things. So there is, when you come out, there's a little bit more understanding. But at the same time, it's a lot of effort has to be put in by the person individually, because if you are passionate about media, then you will go and do things. You'll do your own research, you will do your own stuff, and do like today's forum. I mean, it's a right forum. Like, for example, you're meeting Dave, and you stimuli, you will find other people, and a lot to learn from people. I think that's something important, ensuring that you keep learning your learning hat on. That's critical for being your success. If you want to be successful, it's not once end of story, like you want to achieve something, it's never achieved. It's always the progression. So keep progressing. I think that's the only thing I'll say.
Yeah, addition from my side, if I may. I'm not a technology guy. I'm basically a bachelor of arts in political science. Having said that, I spent 17 years of my work life in media. In the last 13 years of my entrepreneurial life in media as well. And a bit of feather to my cap, I also have a patent to my credit for a media business. So it's not that you need to be in technology. And as rightly Santosh and Debushi has pointed out, as long as you have the passion, the zeal, and most importantly, you put in the hard work, okay, and you know exactly what you're doing, I'm sure success is going to come to you in some form or the other. So that's my 2 cents out here. Anyway, Shubh, the last question of the day, please.
Yeah, so if anyone just has one last question to round us off today. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Anish. I wanted to ask, how do you see the world of technology and sports shaping in the future? And do you think the technology that we have today, is that going to be applicable in 5 years, 10 years, or do you think it will be completely different? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, if I can go, so I think, the technology is evolving, right? I mean, if you look at it, it is evolving at much faster speed than in any of the, past era, right? I mean, you look at today, give you a simple example of adoption. If you look at tech adoption, I mean, when the hard lines, telephone lines were there, and to reach a 1 million kind of user base, it took almost 75 years. And the cell phones, it took around maybe 15 years. And you look at TikTok, right? TikTok, to get a 1 million user base, it took probably 2 months or 6 months or something like that. Crazy. And then you look at ChatGPT. I mean, it is not a social media platform, yet it is in 1 month you have more than 1 million users. So technology is evolving at much faster speed and pace than we can ever expect or catch up with. So it is definitely not going to be the same as you'd see today. And more and more intervention of new technology is going to come. It will improve the way we consume the information, the way you see the experience of it. I mean, you look at the technologies like Apple has released now the AR, VR headsets, or you have the Meta, which is giving you metaverse headsets. Is that going to change the experience? Of course, yes. Today, these gadgets are pretty big, clumsy, maybe quite heavy. I'm not sure whether somebody will really watch a football match wearing them for 2 hours, but these things will improve. The technology on a hardware side will improve. At the same time, it will also improve from a software and technology side as well. So it all kind of brings, it aids to giving the better experience to the end user. In this case, the people who are consuming the content, be it on television or be it on digital channels or any other channels, even in the radio, the way you hear the commentary or anything. I think so all these things are constantly improving, constantly enhanced. And I think what you see today is definitely going to be very different in another 5 years or 10 years down the line. A lot more of AI, a lot more of generative AI elements will come in based on the customers' preferences, data. Your personalization will go up. So you will probably consume data that is more interested to you. I mean, it's already happening, but it will happen more and more as we go through in the next 5 to 10 years.
Wonderful. Thanks, Santosh. Debushi, add your bit.
No, it's Santosh has captured it perfectly well and fine. It's absolutely true, whatever the stuff that he's mentioned. And I think this whole AI VR sort of a scenario is going to make you feel as if you're on pitch side or you're on something. So that will be the next stage of evolution, I guess. Although I think for this year's the ICC tournament, one of the biggest things that they could out was using vertical cameras because they found out that a lot of people, and this is something that Star Disney has been doing in India, is if you're watching the games through the Indian broadcast in India, we still don't see that much of content being consumed on the mobile phone here in the UK, for example, because people still want to watch it on the big screen. But in India, small villages or whatever, to grow the numbers, for the first time in the history of cricket broadcasting, there are vertical cameras that have been put in place so that you can actually watch the cricket in a vertical manner rather than a horizontal manner. So that I believe is a new new invention from the viewer perspective done completely. And these are the kind of, advancements that you will be seeing depending on eventually, whether it is the sporting bodies or the broadcasters, we are going to be adapting ourselves according to how our consumer is consuming content, right? Now, if they are going to be consuming content on the big screen, we are going to make sure that, we are there. If they're going to be doing it on the smaller screens, we are going to be making sure that we are adaptable, or our content is being adaptable such that it's being utilized in that particular manner. And like I said, Santosh did, allude to the fact over the next 5-10 years, you might just find that, personalization is so huge that you might just want to be at a particular place or a particular seat to watch a game, which is now not possible as a viewer, but in the future, it just might be when you're wearing a VR headset, probably. So yeah, it's all exciting. And I think it's a great time to look at a career in the media tech broadcasting sector for any one of you who's interested. And yeah, things will change and things will adapt, because these are the sectors or the industries that don't keep still. We always keep adapting.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that brings to the end of this particular session. And before really end, a couple of quick things. But even before that, two very quick questions to Santosh and Debashri. You shouldn't think much. Maybe a quick sentence or word of advice to the students out here. Santosh, your turn.
Yeah, I think my suggestion is always be curious. I mean, ask questions. Keep learning. I don't think that learning ever stops. Wherever you are. Second thing is, nothing is impossible. I mean, there are people who have had done proper courses and then achieved a career and then done very well. And there are people who have not done proper courses and yet they are successful. And so there are many examples like that. So as long as you have the drive, passion, and desire and want, I think that's important, and keep doing it. And all the very best for all of you. To all of you.
Thanks. Debashri, your turn.
Yeah, to my bits, I know a couple of my fellow guests were asking what that poster is in the background. For me, it is always about believing in yourself and believing that you can do things that you're passionate about. Passion comes foremost. It's you've got to figure out as to what is it that you want in life, and what are the fundamentals. Is it money that you want? Is it happiness that you want? Is it every being a different day? So there are different industries that can actually give you an element of all of that. But like I said, whatever that you pursue in your careers, whether that's media, whether that's technology, whether that's finance, whether that's marketing or whatever, you've got to believe in yourself, because you will find a lot of naysayers in your career journey who will try to create obstacles or say that you're not good enough or whatever. But you've got to always get up, dust yourself, and say, no, I can do it. So I know Santosh did mention nothing is impossible. I'm saying just do it. Probably we are working on Adidas and Nike presentations, but clearly these are the things that you can do it. And like I said, to end with Sky, I would say believe in better and always believe in yourself. That's about it from my side. Yes, thank you.
I just want to sort of leave an anecdotal thing. How many of you guys have heard this person called Don Bradman? You can raise a hand. I can't see though. Do you see any?
There's no one who's raised his hand up, man. You've gone into another year altogether.
No worries. So you can always go back home and Google up. Don Bradman is considered to be the greatest batsman ever. And he, in his entire lifetime, he only sang once. Okay, and the song is called Every Day is a Rainbow Day for Me. Okay, that's pretty much is what Santosh and Debashri said. Wake up every morning, pick up the stick, run. You put the drive, you put the zeal, you put the honesty, things will happen just the way you want to be. Okay, great. That sort of sums up our discussion today. Thanks to Santosh, thanks to Debashri and Dhaval, who's unfortunately had to move out. Thanks to each one of you taking your time out and from your busy schedule and making this happen. And a big thanks to Shubh for organizing this, and as well as Mr. Ken. This was long pending, but I'm happy and glad that we could work out this thing together and putting everything into schedule. A quick one. I know some of you guys had, or some of the students out here did attend the Tech Tuesdays a number of times in the last couple of months. The next Tech Tuesday is happening on the 7th of November, and the topic could be interesting for you. Is generative AI. You can coordinate with Shubh. As you know, he's probably the default volunteer at Tech Tuesdays. He can probably guide you in terms of how to register. Yeah, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much. Thanks for being there. Take care, and we'll probably touch base with you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining. It was really insightful.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks, Joe. Take care. Bye-bye.